start, how many of us here grew up like eating deli meats or like hot dogs or anything like that? Okay, pretty much everyone. Okay. So, what if I told you that the very thing we eat almost every day could make our bodies sick? My main claim is adopting a plant-based diet is better for your health. For those of you that don't know, practicing veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in your diet. So why is meat bad for you, and why is a plant-based diet good for you? The consumption of meat increases your risk of diseases. A study taken from the Public Health Society in 2012 said the more often you eat red meat or processed meat, the higher your risk for diabetes and heart disease. So basically, people whose diets were based mainly in plant-derived foods like noodles, beans, vegetables, are less likely to develop diabetes compared with those who have diets with mostly meat. So according to a study put together by the Harvard School of Medicine with a study group of 90,000 women, reported that women who ate more than 6 ounces of meat per day double the risk of developing breast cancer than women who ate no red meat at all, and their chances of getting breast cancer was reduced by 45%. So how is red meat linked to breast cancer and cancer? A chemical called nitrose, which is used to help cows grow bigger and produce more milk, breaks down in the stomach lining, and it breaks apart, and it damages the lining of your stomach, and it causes cells to replicate. So that's a cause of cancer, or like a pre-cancerous symptom. So in 2011, scientists found that around 5 in every 100 cancers in the UK were due to eating too much red meat. So that's another reason. Another reason why plant-based diets are better is because an animal-based diet damages your body. So meat intake hardens your veins. So when you eat a lot of meat, plaque builds up in your veins. So like veins. Which obstructs your blood flow, making artery walls susceptible to damage, which is like heart disease or heart failure. Because meat contains a lot of saturated fats. Why is a plant-based diet better for your health? When you base your meals off of plant foods, you're packing your diet with fiber, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats as opposed to the non-healthy fats that meat causes. Dr. Sharon Palmer, who wrote The Power of the Plant-Powered Diet, says that study after study has linked eating a plant-based diet with decreasing a number of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and certain cancers. Plant diets just naturally lower calories, cholesterol, and because meat are higher in fiber and vitamins, because plant-based diets are higher in fiber and vitamins, it's better for you. So for example, my mom was diagnosed with diabetes 3 years ago, and she changed to a vegan diet, and she was completely cured. So that's another example of why a plant-based diet is better for you, or why it helps you get rid of like diabetes and like heart disease. In conclusion, a plant-based diet is better for you. It reduces diabetes, heart disease, and
All right, well, the proposition's clear, but there's no preview what the supporting structure is going to be. In the body of the speech, it's a little hard to pick out. Once again, I think I mentioned in an earlier speech, if you're listening carefully, you might be able to pick things out. I've got diabetes is the first part. It looks like cardiovascular disease is the second part. And then we're back down to plant diets are just generally good for you. So I'm not sure there's any distinct third point. Which, by the way, at the end of the speech, it sounded like you were going to help fix this problem by having a good summary that reminded us of those key points. And you mentioned the diabetes, you mentioned the heart disease, and then the third one just kind of drifted away. So I think that's the problem there, that there's not really a third point. It's just some more generic information about plant-based diets. The information that you have is reasonable. There's some good sources that you cite here. The statistical information is sometimes a little bit conclusionary. The data, for example, about the UK and 5 out of 100 cancers were related to meat consumption. I think we need a little bit more information on that research, because that seems like it's sort of out of the blue. It would be a good idea to have some information as to how that conclusion was arrived at. But you do cite authorities on most of your arguments. I think you could use a little bit more information about how the plant-based diets produce the benefits that you're talking about. You have some explanations about how meat-based diets might encourage cancers and diabetes, but the explanations aren't as clear as they could be, and you end up having to rely on the generic research that links those things to meat consumption. And it's like what the risk is, at what level, it's not quite clear. That'll be probably one of the arguments that comes up from the respondent. Okay, thank you.